Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney Rose and I'm so glad that you're here today. I am super excited to make this channel a place where stay-at-home moms can come and find some solace, find some inspiration, encouragement, maybe some fun, makeup, fashion, funny kid stories, videos, all of the things mom life, right? But I'm really excited to really start focusing on stay-at-home mom life. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I have worked since I was 15, and once I had my first child, my dream was to quit my job and be a stay-at-home mom. And it just wasn't in the cards for us. We, lived in a large city at the time. We lived in Houston, and we needed the two incomes to really survive there, or so we thought. I think we could have survived on my husband's income, but we were just in the mindset of like the lifestyle that we lived, we had to have two incomes. And so I just didn't think that it was in the cards for me to be a stay-at-home mom. So we had our second child, and then we had a huge life change, and we moved across the state for my husband's job, and then enters a third child. And so when we moved, I actually told my husband, I want to take just a couple months. Just let me have a couple months to just be home, take Mace to school, just give me a couple months. And that was like my lead in to being a stay-at-home mom. And it turned into, now we are getting ready to go into year 5 of me being a stay-at-home mom. And can I just tell you that everything, all of the expectations that I had in my mind of what being a stay-at-home mom was like, can I just tell you that once reality set in, all of those expectations were completely shot down. Everything I thought being a stay-at-home mom was and how good I was gonna be at it, reality set in, and it was not what I thought being a stay-at-home mom was gonna be like. Can we just be honest? How many have felt that way? You just had envisioned this perfect life as a stay-at-home mom, and it turns out that it was not what you thought. Can you just leave me a comment down below and say, me had expectations and it did not live up to those expectations, right? And that is another topic for another day. I do want to make a video on just my experience becoming a stay-at-home mom, but just wanted to touch that. Like, you have expectations of what you think it's gonna be like, and then it doesn't live up, like reality doesn't live up to those expectations, right? So these are my 5 tips for staying sane as a stay-at-home mom. Let me just start by saying I am not perfect with these, but I do know that when these 5 things are in my day-to-day, my days are so much smoother, and I have more peace, I have more patience, I'm not as short with the kids, and my days are just more peaceful. And for me, being a stay-at-home mom, that is super important, that I have peace, that my home is peaceful, that my children feel peace, and it doesn't feel chaotic. Because let me just be honest, there are days, even weeks, where I feel like the days are just chaotic, and when I really sit down and think what is going on, I notice that most of these things are out of alignment. I have not made sure that these were a part of our day, and that's when things just are chaotic and chaos ensues. So let's start with tip number 1. Tip number 1 for me is getting up early before the kids. Now, I am naturally a morning person. I prefer to go to bed earlier and get up early. And my husband is not. He's the opposite. He's a night owl. He prefers to sleep till noon. He recently had a job change, and now he works nights, and so he is getting home around between 6:30 and 7 in the morning. And for the last probably 5 months, that has been amazing because it's actually allowed me to, I've started getting up earlier, which I prefer, but we have gotten to have morning, just have coffee together and have our mornings together, which will tie into one of my other tips. But it's given us just some time in the mornings to just talk about the week and our days, and that has been so nice. So I know that when I go to bed earlier, I get up earlier before the kids get up. I have my coffee, like have my little routine. I have my coffee, I sit down, I do my devotional, I write in my planner. Those are things that bring me peace and help me to feel grounded for the day. It makes me just feel so much better versus all of us waking up at the same time. Everybody's crying, everybody needs something, everybody wants food, you know, and the morning just starts off chaotic. I feel like then the rest of the day, it just sets the tone for the rest of the day, and we're just, that's it, you know. And sometimes you can get the day back on track, but a lot of times it's just, it sets the tone for the day, and then the rest of the day is like that. So when I make sure I take the time to get up before the kids, I have that alone time for myself, I am in a much better headspace to then take on all that the day entails. And if you know, having 3 kids at home, I also homeschool, I didn't say that, I also homeschool. So having 3 kids at home, homeschooling our oldest, it can be chaotic. Our youngest is 2, and so he is in that stage where he constantly, you know, is always mom, 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 you know. So that for me just starts the day off more peaceful and helps me to just be in a better mind frame to deal with all the things that come in the day. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is going to be having a schedule and a routine for your day. Me personally, I just thrive better with a plan, with a schedule, with a routine. My mom raised us that way, like dinner was at the same time every day. Like my mom had a very set regimen, a very set schedule, and so I thrive in that environment, and having a routine and having a schedule. I've had to learn to be flexible. My husband is the exact opposite, which is what makes us so great together. But he and his family, even they're just, when we started dating, I would be like, okay, we have dinner at this time at this restaurant, we've got to go so we can be there. And like we'd be on the way to the restaurant, and they'd be like, they would call me like, oh, we're changing the restaurant and we're not going to be there for another hour. It would just like do something to my brain. I would get so upset. And so I had to learn to just be flexible and be like, okay, it's no big deal. But I was just raised on, you know, having such a schedule and a routine that was really hard to me. So I have learned to be more flexible. But I think in coming home and becoming a stay-at-home mom, you know, I had a job, and so I was used to that schedule and a routine there. And so coming home and being a stay-at-home mom and not having that structure was really hard for me. It took me and let me just tell you, I'm still not perfect with it. I still struggle with it. But that was one of the hardest things for me, was figuring out a schedule and a routine in our home. I'm still figuring it out, I'm not gonna lie. So just have some peace in knowing that you may not ever have a schedule and a routine down. I hope that you do, and that's something I am really working on, is having more of a routine and a schedule in our life, because I know that I thrive better when we do. But I also have to leave room to be flexible, because my husband isn't that way. And so we're having to like find this balance of being flexible, but also knowing I thrive better when we've got routine and we've got schedule. So that would be my next tip, is find a routine, find a schedule that works for you, and know there's room to be flexible. Know that it doesn't have to be set in stone. Know that Monday can look completely different from Friday, but having the schedule and the routine is just going to help your week go smoother. It's going to help your days go smoother. You know what to expect, especially if you're that type A personality. Like, you need to know what's coming. You need to have a plan. You need to know what the day looks like. And so that is going to help your days immensely. Get a schedule, get a routine that works for you and your family. It's going to look different for everyone. And that's the beauty of that, is that you can take the time to find out what works for you and your family. Tip number 3, and this is something that I struggle with, and me and my husband struggle with, is have a set date night every week, or just alone time scheduled out for you and your partner. I feel like when you have kids, it's so easy to just get lost and consumed in kids stuff, sports, school, all the activities you want your kids to be involved in. And even just like you know, we've got younger kids. Our middle daughter, she's almost 5, and then we have a 2-year-old and then a 10-year-old. So like we've got all the range of ages, and so even just keeping them entertained and just spending time with them, like that consumes so much. Taking care of them, making sure they're fed, school stuff, like it consumes so much of our time. And I find that, you know, most days by the end of the day, you're so tired, it's just like fall into bed, right? And so back to what I was talking about with in tip number 1 was that my husband now comes home early in the mornings, and we have had probably 3 to 4 days out of the week, we get about an hour and a half to just have coffee, to sit and talk about our dreams and talk about the week and whatever we want to talk about. That's kind of become like our date night, because he works nights, and so he's gone by 6 when he is working. So but before that, we were really bad about actually scheduling out time. And you know, I do want to be better about actually having like we're gonna get dressed, we're gonna go out, just because it makes you feel more special. You know, there's something about like going out with your man, right? So we need to be better about that, because we are the worst. And I'm the worst because I hate to ask anyone to watch my kids. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to burden anyone and all, but it's so important to take that time. It's good for your kids, it's good for you and your spouse. So have a set date night, and that may look like, for us, that's our mornings. Like we have our alone time together in the mornings because of his work schedule. So it may look different. You may have breakfast dates, right? It may look different for you and your spouse, but find something that works and actually be intentional and take the time to schedule that out with your spouse and make it a priority. One, it's gonna be such a blessing for your marriage, and it's gonna be so good for your relationship, but it's also good for your children to see that you are intentional with one another, that you take the time to spend time with one another. And it's so important. So that is tip number 3, is make sure you are scheduling time with your spouse, your partner, to be intentional with one another, to be intentional with your relationship, and just live on it, you know? Live on it. Gotta be intentional though. Tip number 4 is going to be your health, exercise, diet. Your health is so important. If you don't have energy, if you don't feel good, you're not gonna have the energy for your children. You're not gonna have the energy to keep up with your home. You're not gonna have energy for your relationship with your spouse, your partner. So it's your health. And this, I just have to tell you guys, everything I'm telling you today is stuff that I am literally walking out this very moment in my life. And that is, I found I had just become tired and sluggish and didn't have energy for anything. It affects my mood, it affects my anxiety, like it causes me to just want to lay in bed and not do anything, right? And so taking your health seriously and making it a priority and being intentional, just like being intentional with your spouse, being intentional with your health, it's also a good example for your children, but it's going to help you to be in a better frame of mind. You know, we know what exercise does for us, and if you don't know what exercise does for you, go Google it. It's so good for your mind, it's so good for your body. And so making health a priority and taking the time, it could be when you have your alone time in the morning, is just getting in a little 10-15 minute workout, taking the kids to the park, you know, letting them play while you walk around the playground, making that a priority in your life. You're gonna feel better, you're gonna have more energy, you're gonna sleep better. And then the other thing is food. We're not perfect with this, but I do try to watch what we're eating. We try to not do sugar. We try to eat as healthy as we can. But I will just tell you, there are nights that I'm like, I just can't. I have nothing left in me. I love to cook. I love, like, cooking is my love language. I love to make things that taste delicious and healthy for my family. But there are days I'm like, go get a Little Caesars pizza. I'm done. Like, I am done. But I'm finding that when we eat crappy, we feel tired, right? It's things we know. And I'm saying it's okay if you've got a night where it's like, it's a Little Caesars night, I don't have the energy. You know, sometimes those things happen, and you have to, like, I beat myself up so much when I do those things, like, oh man, we ate pizza, you know, I should have just cooked. But learning to just let that go. Some nights you're gonna have to, you know, just for your peace of mind, you're gonna have to do whatever the easy thing is, right? Making it a priority, making sure you're sitting down with your family to eat a meal, making sure that you're cooking healthy foods for your family. It's so important, so important. It's gonna help you to feel better. It's gonna help your family to feel better. And so that is tip number 4, is taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, feeding your body good nutritious food so that you feel your best. I would probably group sleep into that too, making sure you're getting enough sleep. When you don't sleep, you're not gonna have the energy, right, to chase the kids around. So as a part of health is making sure you're getting a good night's sleep so that you feel your best for your family. And tip number 5 is have fun with your kids. Do things that they like to do. Listen to them, find out what they're interested in, and then do those things with them. That makes them feel loved. It makes them feel like you're engaging with them, but also just having fun. I think that as adults, it's so easy to just be serious all the time. It's so easy to just be like, oh, we've got the house to clean, we've got the dishes to clean up, we got, you know, like you just get stuck in all the adult responsibilities. And so you're just like constantly in the state of like, I get it, the stress of the world is on our shoulders, you know, you're like thinking about the bills you got to pay, you're thinking about everything that needs to be clean, the pile of laundry that needs to be put away. Like, it's so easy as adults to just get stuck in that responsibility mindset that you can't even let yourself have fun. And so do things with your kids, take them places. We love to go out in the Jeep and go, there's a lot of trails around where we live, and so like going out and riding in the Jeep. We love to take them to the park. You know, we love to play card games. Our family is card game family, and so like even just after dinner, all right, let's get the cards out, you know. It could be a Friday night movie night where I love to, like, I make a big board for the kids, like a kid charcuterie board or a movie charcuterie board, you know. We'll do popcorn and candy and all the things and have a movie night, you know. Whatever it is and whatever it looks like for your family, making sure you're taking time out of the week. It doesn't have to be every single day. It should be every single day. We should be having fun every single day. We should be laughing every single day. There is so much gloom and doom and darkness in the world that our home should not be a place where that stuff leaks in. And so every day we should be doing our best to have fun with our kids, to laugh with our kids. And so have fun. Let yourself have fun. Shake off all the responsibility, all the anxiety of just everything that you know that you have to do in life, and have fun with your kids. Take that time to really just enjoy being with them, doing the things that they love to do, playing, whatever it is that your family enjoys doing. You know, we like to we'll go to the Dollar Tree and buy a bag of balloons, and we'll blow up the balloons and just, you know, have fun playing with balloons. Bubbles, such an easy and cheap thing. The kids love to build forts. My kids love to build forts, and so I'll come in the living room and they have just built this giant fort, and I love it. They're using their creativity, they're playing together, and that is something that's so fun for them. And so just finding the things that your family enjoys and making them a priority every single day, every single week. You know, if you've got one night that, you know, every Friday night we got movie night and we do it up big, whole shebang, right? Or, you know, if it's on the weekend, you have that special place where you live that you love to take your kids. Making sure that you're taking time out of life to just enjoy your family, enjoy your kids. It's gonna bring so much peace to your mind, to your heart, to just put the phone down, put all the work down, and just enjoy being with your family. I hope that you enjoyed these tips. If you have more tips for staying sane as a stay-at-home mom, please share them down in the comments. Let other moms know, how do you stay sane? What works for you? If you have some other things that maybe I didn't share, share them down below. Let's bind together as mamas and let's encourage one another, and let's find ways to be the best that we can be for our families, for our homes, to be a place of peace and joy and love. So if you have any tips, please share them below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you for being here. Don't forget to like this video. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this, and help encourage one another as stay-at-home mamas. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.